Welcome to the Parents of High Achieving Students podcast, where we talk education with parents, students, and educators. I'm your host, Tim Prunyi. Today, I have a very special guest, Gabriella Todd. Gabriella has worked in the admissions and financial aid department at Harvard University and received her master's in education from Harvard in 2020. Gabriella also has a pretty awesome YouTube channel. I've binged a bunch of her videos and the content is really helpful for students. So Gabriella, before we get started, this episode is brought to you by Prep Expert. Prep Expert is leading the way with online SAT and ACT prep and now offers one-on-one tutoring in over 100 academic subjects, including all of your AP courses and exams. Go to prepexpert.com and use the code podcast for a discount on any course, or podcast-TD for a discount on one-on-one tutoring. So Gabriella, first of all, congratulations on the house.
Thank you. That would be the first thing you mentioned.
Right? It's pretty exciting. It's
Yeah.
top of mind because I'm getting a house too, and we're going to be neighbors. So that's pretty huge. So what was it like getting into Harvard grad school?
So in order for you guys to really just understand the experience for me, the excitement, how surreal it felt, I just need to share my story so that you guys can really understand like how I felt. And so, me being born and raised in Miami, my family was born in Haiti. They migrated to the US. And then I'm the oldest child of 4. And growing up, like my parents didn't have a college degree, right? I don't even think they graduated with their high school diploma in the US. And so I kind of just had to figure, the whole education space on my own. And I was the oldest. I didn't have any older siblings to lean on. And so I didn't even know an Ivy League existed until I even came to UCF. Like I knew it existed, but I didn't even think that could be a reality for me. And so I, focused in school. I was doing good. I ended up getting accepted into the gifted program, and reading was my thing. I love to read. I loved books, and that was kind of like the door for me. Like that was the key that unlocked a lot of potential for me. And so when I realized that, I ended up getting like my first college scholarship in the 7th grade from Take Stock in Children, and grew up with them. They assigned me with a mentor. She kind of helped me and understand the whole college space. And I'll get into this later in the podcast, but that was really what opened my eyes. The resources that I received from my school, from this organization that I was now a part of, but still, like I didn't think, higher education, I didn't think college was going to be a reality for me. Even in my 12th grade year of high school, everyone was kind of like panicking about what they were going to do next, and I was in the same boat. As a student, I didn't have straight A's. I was kind of like a and B student. I wasn't failing, but I wasn't like the top, the best, right? So I always thought of myself as like kind of like in the middle. And if I went to a community college, that could work. That was kind of my idea. And what really changed for me was when I just decided to apply for the Bill and Melinda Gates Scholarship, the Gates Millennium Scholarship, which is a full ride to any university of your choice for low income minoritized students. I had to write 8 essays, and I just ended up taking a full leap of faith, applied. I think I had a week to apply for the scholarship. So I like literally put my head down and started working on those essays. I had some teachers help me, some mentors help me edit it. And then I ended up finding out that I got the scholarship. So I went to the University of Central Florida on a full ride. That was a huge game changer for me because my parents could not have contributed for my education out of pocket. Like I said before, we were low income, we were struggling. And so that was a huge, like, I felt like just the doors open for me and, the legacy that I was now going to be starting in education. And so went to UCF, was about to graduate from UCF. And then out of nowhere, like, I just felt this strong desire. And I was doing my research on grad school, what my next steps were going to be. And I came across the Harvard Graduate School of Education and their program, and I just fell in love with the program and how it was tailored to my interest in, education, but also marrying that with nonprofit work and management. And I was like, this is the school for me, right? And so any wise person would advise you to not put all your eggs in one basket and like, to put it all like put it all out there and apply to multiple schools, because you never know what's going to happen. But I would try to apply to different schools. I would look on their websites and I would just be like, man, this isn't it. Like, I have to apply to Harvard. And that was the only school that I applied to for grad. And I don't advise this at all, but I put all my eggs in one basket.
Right? Dude, talk about a
And
leap of faith.
a total leap of faith. But I just had so much peace about that decision. Like, I just had a strong knowing that this was the best fit for me. And I did a ton of research on the location, the professors, the courses, and I'm like, this is honestly the only fit for me at this point. Like, if I don't get in here, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So the week that I was gonna be finding out that I got accepted, I remember because I was working at the provost office as a student assistant, and I remember just checking my email like every 10 minutes, like trying to figure out when they're gonna send the decision. And I finally got home. I remember just like scrolling through my email, refreshed it, and I finally saw this notification from Harvard that I had to check my portal for my decision. And I literally started shaking at that moment. I didn't have a YouTube channel back then, but if I did, I should have recorded
Oh
my
my
reaction.
goodness.
But I was shaking. I called my mom. I was like, it's here. The decision is here. I'm so scared to check it. Like, I was honestly super nervous. I know I had like even some naysayers. I'm just saying, like, it's Harvard. Like, how can you get into Harvard? Like, no one gets into Harvard. Like, kind of like, who do you think you are? How do you think you're gonna get accepted? But I honestly just had a full knowing that this was the best decision for me, and opened up that portal, and the first word that I saw was congratulations, and I just screamed at the top
Hmm.
of my lungs. My roommate was like, what happened? Are you okay? And I'm like, I got accepted into Harvard. And she's like, what? And so it was honestly a surreal, very, very exciting moment for me. Obviously, like a huge game changer for my family, like being a first generation college student, having my bachelor's, but now being accepted into an Ivy League, Harvard at that, and then now getting my master's. Like, whoa, right? Like, all the odds were against me growing up, but man, just the opportunities that came through just academia, like that's always been my thing. And I'm a teacher now, and I just want to inspire the generation coming up that if it happened for me, then why can't it happen for you? Like, it's gonna happen for you. So that's my life, that's my story, and we're here now, and I'm super excited about just the doors that have opened and what's to come next. But
So
yeah.
that's huge. So you
Yeah.
said you did a lot of research,
Mhm.
like after you made the decision. What kind of research you did? You looked up professors. What else did you do for your
Yeah.
research?
So, right. So, a part of the process of applying is to really know why this school is the best fit for you, because that's going to show up not only in your interview, if you have an interview, but also in your purpose of statement, your statement of purpose. So I
Mhm.
had to know that this was going to be the school for me, and that showed up in my essay. And so I researched the location, why was going to grad school at this time, in this particular time, the best choice for me.
Mhm.
What professors did I want to learn from, because grad school is different from just undergrad, right? You're really
Yeah.
learning from these professors, you're sitting under them, they're advising you, and then potentially, if you want to stay and get your doctorate degree, right, that could also be something for you if you want to do research in grad school. So I had to know what professors I wanted to learn from and why them. Why did I
Yeah.
want to learn this? What did I want to do with my degree? um yeah, and so I really did have to know. And all throughout that process, like, I was just getting check marks, like, yep, this is for me, this is for me, this is for me. So it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to, as a grad student, you got to work in an office where you help students with admission and with financial aid. So what was that like?
That was again, that was also an eye opener for me to really just see firsthand, like, how this process works at an Ivy League institution, what are they doing to help students who may not feel like they can afford this school or may not even be familiar with this process? How are they helping them? How do they help those who even have the money, right? So how do they tailor fit these packages to each student? How do I assist incoming students and parents and families who have a ton of questions? So I learned a lot from that process. And, the number one thing for me was to really understand that there's funding out there, right? Because even before I came to an Ivy League, it was always a distant thought. Like, I didn't even think I could afford it. I didn't think that I could afford a 4-year institution. But specifically at Harvard, they really do their best to make sure that students can afford to come, right? That incoming students, it is a possibility for you guys to come, for us to come. And so I learned a lot about the back end. I had to educate myself about Harvard College's specific financial aid policies. And so it's important for us as students and teachers and, just like support leaders to really just look out there and see what's available to students and, how they can apply and get funding because it's out there. Yeah.
Yeah. And when did you come up with your morning routine? I saw you had a video where you step by step. Was that while you were in undergrad, or was that before that, or was that in grad school?
Yeah, that was in grad school. So each season is like different. When I was in college, my morning routine was different from when I was in grad school. And now I'm married. I'm approaching our first year anniversary. So my morning routine is different now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But like for example, in college, I was super busy. I was working, I was attending school full time, I was serving at church, I was volunteering. So I
Mhm.
was kind of like, okay, get up and go kind of
Yeah.
routine, like breakfast bar, and I'm out the door to go to school. And in grad school, it was kind of the same thing, but I started a YouTube channel in grad school. So a lot of times I would have to get up early, film content, and then go to class
Yeah.
or go to class, go to the gym, come back, and then plan or edit videos. So I had
Yeah.
to bring that into my schedule. And then now that I'm married, married life, I turn around, greet my husband, and then I'm thinking about what I have to do for the day, and then I'm out the door. So, and then I like to like just honestly just center myself and you know talk to God, because faith is a huge factor for me, the most important thing in my life. And that
Absolutely.
really keeps me grounded and keeps me going. So that's like number one for me. Like, I love to pray in the mornings, I love to meditate in the mornings, and then think about, okay, what do I have planned for the day? Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. And you're also big on vision boards. Do you still do them? How did you use vision boards to kind of help you with all this planning and get everything
Yeah.
there?
Well, I think I got the vision board idea from someone on YouTube. It was a digital vision board. So
Okay.
typically we think of like, vision board as poster board and you're cutting out magazines, but I saw someone do a digital vision board and that just like changed the game for me. I'm like, this is awesome.
Mhm.
Like, I can put this as my desktop, wallpaper. And
Yeah.
then every time that I log into my computer, I see this vision and I'm like, I'm going to go for this. So I
Yeah.
started that when I was in Harvard. And
Mhm.
so I put that I'm going to graduate and, I'm going to get this many subscribers and I'm going to partner with this person or organization and I'm going to do this. I'm going to start this business. I'm going to, do this design. So that for me was really just like practicing. Seeing is believing, right? What you
Yeah.
see, what put out there, you're going to meditate on, you're going to think about, you're going to believe, and then you're going to do, right? You're going to act in the way that you think. And I do believe that a large part of what we do and where we go in life is what we believe we can, right? If you believe you can, then you're going to accomplish that. You're going to go out there and make it happen for yourself. You're going to put yourself out there. But if you're not really thinking about the future, if you're not really, thinking about the long game, then, you're not taking those steps, to get there. So that was a huge thing for me to, write down the vision, make it plain, and then, yeah, just set action steps and to get to that place. So it's been really helpful to just see that on a consistent basis. And I still do that now. And I just do it now with my husband. So we come together. Like this year, we came together and we wrote out, our goals for the long term, the short term, and how are we going to actually get there. Yeah.
Mhm. Awesome. A little group or couples,
Right.
or that's nice.
Yeah.
So where can people find you, Gabriella? you're all over I see you have a clothing line. You got all sorts of stuff going on.
Right. So first place is YouTube, Gabriella Todd. I talk about faith, education, lifestyle, and everything in between, my relationship, my marriage. So you can check me out there. And then Instagram is also Gabriella Todd _. I have a faith an apparel company called Blessed by the King. So you can also go and visit us at blessedbytheking.com. What else? There's so many platforms now. LinkedIn, Gabriella Todd. That's how Tim and I connected, was through LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's where we met.
Right. So LinkedIn is huge now with networking. So you can find me there and connect with me there. If you have any questions or you want to chat, just message me on LinkedIn. I'm available for that. But yeah, I think that's really it.
Awesome. So before we go, what advice do you have for students, parents, anyone that's really focused or maybe even worried about their education?
Yeah. So for students, my number one advice would be to really just be yourself. Like, don't try to fit into a certain mold of what you think success looks like. I didn't fit into a mold, but I was able to make it. Like, I didn't have straight A's. I wasn't the valedictorian. I wasn't the top 5% of my class, but I was still able to get a full ride to school, a full ride to Harvard. And now I'm, in my career now and still moving forward. So I would say to honestly just tap into the power of your strengths, the power of your story, and really understand how you can share your story to have doors open for you. I had to share my story to get a full ride. Like, those 8 essays was pretty much me sharing my story, sharing about my background, sharing about what I wanted in life and how this scholarship was going to help me. So learning the power of storytelling is going to be huge for students. And then also to not disqualify yourself. Don't self reject because you never know, what doors can open for you if you just put yourself out there, if you believe in yourself and you're confident that, what's for you is for you, right? It doesn't hurt to just put yourself out there to apply for that school, apply for that scholarship, apply for that program, because you might just get a yes, right?
Yeah.
So that would be my number one advice. I mean, that's worked for me. And then for parents is to know that it takes a village to raise a child. So parents can't do it all, teachers can't do it all, organizations can't do it all, but we really lean on each other. And I think about it like a ecosystem. One of my professors at Harvard talked about this ecosystem of schools in partnership with even churches and partnership with families, right? To really raise a child in the way that they should go and to ensure a child's success. So my advice to parents would be to really just sit down and think about how you can best fit into that ecosystem of support for your child. So what resources are out there, what organizations are out there for your kid, and how you can support your teachers as they're educating your child. What can you do at home to support your child's education and success? And that makes a difference because teachers can't do it by ourselves. We really do need parents. We do need those resources. So like Prep Expert to ensure that a child is succeeding in life. So yeah.
Thanks, Gabriella. Great talking to you. Hopefully we'll get to do this again soon.
Yes.
This has been the Parents of High Achieving Students podcast. The guest has been Gabriella Todd. I've been Tim Prunyi. Go out there, work hard, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Thanks for having me. Bye.